BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment and political props. Head to BetOnline today and get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
All right.
I overlapped with Dennis for a year in Oakland. He was there, I was there. I overlapped with Dennis for a year in Oakland. He was there, I was there. And so I had firsthand opportunity to watch him lead the team. And I'm using the word lead in quotes because I don't believe he was a leader. Or stated differently, I think what leaders do is best position everybody to be their best. Leaders accept all blame. Leaders attribute to success to others. And Dennis did none of that.
Well, what example happened in Oakland where that gave you an idea where you might have counseled the Saints from saying, all right, we'll take the DC from Sean Payton and elevate him?
Well, and before I get to that,
Yes.
Remember the movie Sliding Doors, where the doors of the train slide shut?
Yeah, the Gwyneth Paltrow movie with a great haircut.
I didn't remember that part. And because the door slides shut, someone doesn't make it on the train and lives change. Think about this if you're a Saints fan. The Saints had two people on staff at the same time, Dan Campbell, and Dennis Allen. Dan is now leading the Lions, and the Saints made Dennis the head coach. Think if that had been reversed. Think if there was a sliding doors moment there. You think Saint fans would be happier with Dan Campbell?
I'm telling you, Don Bowie, our producer, is in the back dying a slow death.
Do you think he's crying?
Right now.
Do you think I made him cry?
Well, I mean, I don't think you made him cry because I think he's cried all the tears that he has left. But what gave you the indication in Oakland? Like what happened in Oakland where you're like, this guy is no leader?
Well, again, he accepted no responsibility for things that went wrong. He never attributed any things that went right to others. And he didn't look, I think good leaders do all they can to bring out the best in those that they are trying to lead. And I'm referring now to what Dennis did, not only within the locker room, not only with the coaching staff, but the organization as a whole. He diminished people. He left people in tears. And look, let me make something very clear. People will push back at times and say, well, Aim, he was a strong leader. He was a demanding leader. Let me tell you something. I worked for Al Davis for almost 30 years. I know what it means to be a strong leader, to work for a strong leader, to work for a demanding leader. But I also know that Al did what the best do, which is he best positioned others to be their best and tried to bring out the best in others. And I never saw that from Dennis.
Well, I mean, let's just assume that he had no.
Oh, wow. Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening Sport talk from your favorite sports fam was popping. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate you for being in alive. It's a Monday. It's the Monday that a lot of people have been waiting for. Dennis Allen has been fired. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Dennis Allen has been fired. That's been ringing out all day, all damn day. He got canned. Now, of course, a lot of the who that say, AQ, this is something that's slow, but I started the broadcast with Amy Trask. This is not an old broadcast. This is one that happened today on Rich Eisen's show. She says she's worked with him. He exhibited no accountability, just like his quarterback gets fired again. So people known this, and it's the good old boy circle, and it's time to destroy it, especially when we talking Saints football. There, it just won't fly. The true controllers of the team isn't the owner or the governor or whatever they want to call these people. It's you. And when you say enough, the wheels come grinding to a stop. Embrace your power, people. And after you do that, continue with your list of demands. We want a change at the top of the organization. We want Mickey Loomis to not be the general manager anymore. Why, Q? We got Dennis Allen out of here. Well, it wouldn't be a Dennis Allen if it wasn't for a Mickey Loomis. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. And this is the problem. Listen, look at this. Let me get this for you. This is a release here that happened that the Saints organization released. This is what Mickey Loomis released. New Orleans Saints relieve head coach Dennis Allen of his duties for immediate release. The New Orleans Saints announced today that head coach Dennis Allen has been relieved of his duties. Special team coordinator Darren Rizzi has been named interim head coach. Allen was named the head coach of New Orleans Saints on February 8 of 2022. He became the 17th head coach in franchise history. Quote, Dennis has been a part of our organization for many years. He's highly regarded within the NFL. He has been extremely loyal and professional, and mostly important, an excellent football coach for us. All this makes today very tough for me and our organization, end quote, said Gail. This is Gail Benson. Quote, however, this decision is something that I felt we needed to make at this time. I wish nothing but the best in the future for Dennis Allen and his family will always be considered in the highest regards. This is what Mickey Loomis then said. Hold up, we're going to come back to your head trauma. Mickey Loomis then chimed in and said, quote, DA is an excellent football coach, end quote, said Mickey Loomis. Quote, this season, we have had an avalanche of injuries. It took its toll. DA has never offered excuses. That's a goddamn lie. All he do is make excuses, just like you. Feeble, unaccountable, fake fraud of a general manager in Mickey Loomis. All he did was offer excuses, just like him. He fought each day for this organization and his team, and that is what makes today disappointing. If he fought for his organization, the team that he built and put together, it most certainly did not fight for him because it wasn't built correctly. Everybody's seen Dennis Allen, just like Amy Trask did. It wasn't hard to tell, except for this buffoon. That's why it's a problem going forward. Can you trust his judgment? I've put up multiple polls about Mickey Loomis, and do the who that's believe in Mickey Loomis, and they do not believe you or believe in you. Your decision making is beyond questionable. To consider and sit up there with eyes bucking and gum chewing, unprofessional to the Who Dat Nation, trying to pawn this guy off on you because they don't want to cut his contract. A contract they've held secret from you. They don't want to tell you how much they're paying him. They didn't want to tell you how many years he had because of ridicule. But he says Diaz never offered excuses. That's a damn lie. All he was an excuse creator. It's disappointing. Dennis has been an integral part of this organization's success for the better part of 20 years. He will be missed. He will not be missed by us because we do not miss losers and frauds. He was a loser and he did not deserve the head coaching job. This was a good old boy hire because Peyton told brainless Loomis to hire him and he did it. So we know what Gail's saying, but at the end of the day, if it was up to Mickey Loomis, he would have held on to him. Gail stepped in there. You know, this was something that Loomis didn't want no part of, but he was forced to. It had to get to this because he was too stupid and just unintelligent in his duties as a general manager to keep an eye on Dennis Allen as he was over his head. That's why we don't trust Mickey Loomis as the general manager. Let him keep the VP. But it is time for a different direction with the Saints. And if that's not enough for you, baby, let me then tell you about your salary cap. Huh? You want to talk money for a second? You want to talk about somebody being missed that's not winning anything, that's stealing money? Because that's all he was an excuse creator and stealing money from actually not stealing money. Dumb Mickey giving it to him because he don't know how to look for a coach. Amy Trask did do a wonderful job of breaking down and doing the comparisons between Mickey Loomis and what's the other guy? Matt Campbell. She did a good job in doing that. And she made a great point. That's why I opened the broadcast up with that. But Mickey Loomis is a problem. Big problem for the Saints. Let me kind of show you this. And I've often go here. This year, right now, you're sitting at 3.7 million. In 2025, you're 6.5 million over. This number will increase eventually once we start seeing what's going on. That's next year. Over $60+ million over the cap, which means he has to rework contracts on the book, kick that money into 2026. This is 2026 money at 23.5. This number going to drop, because they need to get 2025 numbers, which is 61+ mil in the red. That's going to go down so that the next year, which is 2026, goes up. 23. This is 2026 numbers. This will drop because they don't have enough money to be able to sign their people that they want to resign, the draft picks, and add people to an older roster that is underachieving. Then you don't see the relief until this number is 2027, when you see over $200 million. That's when a lot of the dead cap money, a lot of the phantom money falls off the contracts. This is 3 years from now. He told you 2 years. That was a lie. It's 3 years. So ultimately, you're not hitting on the draft. You're hitting on the undrafted. You're not hitting on the draft. That's what I was telling people. It's one of different moves that has to be made with Mickey Loomis. He has to be the next shoe to fall. He need to lose that position. And I'm glad we still don't let the appeasement of Dennis Allen. That was one thing. He was supposed to be fired. Last year, he was supposed to be gone. To be honest with you, 9-8 is not that. That is ridiculous. You know, so anyway, this really doesn't surprise a lot of people in the NFL, to be honest with you. It really doesn't. This surprise a lot of people in the NFL because they're like, what the hell are the Saints doing? Because they don't have any vision. They're big, fat, and rich, thanks to us. And they are, what's the term? Smug, disrespectful, out of touch, and living off the rep of a Super Bowl that's over a decade or more since they won a Super Bowl. Living off in the rich of the Super Bowl, that's what they're doing. Enough of that. Enough of that. And even some of these guys, I don't even agree with some of these guys, but at least some of these guys know what some of the stuff that they're talking about. And I don't always agree with this guy, but at least he nailed this one.
Question about it. You're absolutely right. It's good to see you, big time. I got to tell you that I'm not surprised at this at all. It's long overdue. I never thought he deserved to be the head coach anyway because of, his initial tenure in Oakland. The man has had one season in 6 years as a head coach, and that was a 9-8 record. There's nothing that we've seen from him that says he was head coaching material. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't know football. It doesn't mean that he can't coach the defensive side of the ball or anything like that because he's a former defensive coordinator. We get that. But there are certain people that are made to be coordinators, and then you have others who are leaders of men, and they can be overseers and be a head coach. He was never one of the individuals that proved that. And when you see how they nosedive, they started off the season strong, and we saw them ramrod Dallas, and we thought that that was something that was indicative of the kind of things they could bring to the table. And then to see the precipitous drop off that has taken place since that time, there is no question that this was the right move for the Saints to make. The players clearly have faith in themselves, but didn't have any faith in their coaching. They were pointing the fingers at him. Boo Boo the Fool could see that's who they were talking about when they expressed.
Oh, boy!
So the outcome of his firing was predictable as far as I'm concerned.
It indeed was. And even he got that one right.
Yeah, I mean,
he got that right. He got it right. So in the end, it's one of those things, man, where that's one of many things. Now in the broadcast, we're going to listen to Coach Rizzi because the Saints did make Darren Rizzi the special teams coach. Didn't think they would do that. Thought they would go with somebody else, but Rizzi's been here longer than the other guys. So it makes sense. But they picked Rizzi to be the guy. Like I said, Rizzi's a dude that is very passionate. And one of the things I like about Rizzi, if you remember, when the Atlanta game happened last year, while Dennis Allen was getting fussed at by Arthur Smith and grabbing both sides of his stomach, Darren Rizzi was there fussing back and pointing and yelling at him back, him being Arthur Smith. That was a coach. That's what Dennis Allen sitting up and do. This guy should have been gone after that. But it is what it is. We moving forward now. The next thing is, what do we look like going forward? There's a poll question there, fam, for you guys to kind of chime in and let me know what you guys think about that poll question. Over 100 people have voted so far. Do you think the Saints will make the playoffs after the firing? 87% of the family members says, now it's 88, says no after the firing. Because you waited too long. It's a lot of stuff going on. The Saints would have to basically, after a 7-game losing streak, the Saints would have to go basically on a 7-game winning streak. Your streak, the winning streak will have to match the losing streak because so many games have been lost. You have to pile on wins after wins after wins to get back competitive. You have to get back competitive. All right, here Trump said, "What up, Q? The trash DA is gone, courtesy of Gail's cleaning service." Yes, indeed. Rest in peace to Quincy Jones. Thank you.
Thank you.
I heard about that, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you there, man. Much love. So getting them on up out of here, man, was something that was was sensible to do, man. It helped. Now we move forward with the next bit of the game and what we need to do to improve upon and move the team in the proper direction that it needs to be moved in. And the question becomes, do we then, as an organization, blow the team up, or do we keep what's going on, or the veterans or whatever we have, and try to rework the plan to move forward with the team as currently constructed, but with better coaching? What is indeed the plan? What is the plan indeed? Well, that's two different schools of thought. With Dennis Allen's firing, a lot of what he was thinking about is out of here because it didn't work anyway, which means you can't totally get from up under everything. And I explained this before, prior to this last week and weeks before. It's like Dennis Allen is, a part of the problem, but not the main problem. The problem is Mickey Loomis. It really is. But Dennis Allen's philosophy and what he's done over the last 3 years is not going to be undone easily. With him out of the way, you're going to have to get players that he picked, like the Derek Carrs of the world, that Mickey Loomis has saddled the Saints organization with, because you can't trade them and you can't release them because of the dead cap hit that you will have to endure already on the cap that is already $60+ million into the red already for next year. So that's not an option. So you would have to make the best of, I guess, a bad situation. A lot of these contracts that you have with players, you know, it's going to be difficult because not a lot of people are looking for some of these guys. Now I know Marshawn Lattimore has been the subject of trade rumors, but a lot of people, including the insiders like Adam Schefter, don't believe that the Saints will be a player in the trade market tomorrow. We'll see what the philosophy is after tomorrow to see if the Saints then trade veterans for assets to try to then look to the future. If that is indeed the mission, it is whatever the plan is. Me personally thinking, just taking a stab at it, I think what they're trying to do is to keep what Dennis Allen's done in place because they're saddled financially and cannot afford. They don't have the financial flexibility to be able to maneuver like they want to. And then when you're talking about trades, the guy that's going to implement the trade is Mickey Loomis. And Mickey Loomis has been getting fleeced by general managers. He's not a real GM. A lot of his trades are suspect. That's how Howie Roseman's able to run him through the ringer every time. He's a VP masquerading as a general manager. And it was because of Sean Payton. Sean Payton was the one that was doing a lot of this. As you could see, he couldn't even, soon as Sean Payton and Drew left, they could not stake the course. Now he's like, that's two, all the famous Southern and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something, man. When you make correct decisions and you bring right people, and you had right people in, like Amy Trask, they had Matt Campbell here. How did you not see that? How do you pick Campbell over Dennis Allen? You had people in here that would have done a better job than this guy. They decided to go in there because they don't have any vision. Because all they want to do is sit up there and make money. And it's up to you to demand more. You have to demand more from these freaking people. They'll sit up on you and try to make money forever off of you. They'll sit up here and talk about 9 and 8 was a good year as a building. It wasn't no good year with old players. Every year it had to be a year where you were in the playoffs. That's what it was set up for. And Dennis Allen had all of these people. He had all these guys. So my thought process moving forward with Darren Rizzi being the interim coach is they're going to try to keep this together for this year. I don't think they're going to have a fire and sale because why you believe that, Q? Because Dennis Allen is gone, but Mickey Loomis is still running the team. Like I said, Dennis Allen is gone, but Mickey Loomis is as clueless as he is. He's clueless. He doesn't have any imagination about what to do. He's saddled and destroyed the salary cap of over several years. In 3 years, we'll finally get some relief when all of these old contracts are off, but you got a brand new team there. You've wasted away a great deal of what potentially could have been a Super Bowl run or a deep playoff run at the very least. With all of these players here, you done wasted it away playing games with Dennis Allen. We done wasted 2.5 years of time off for Taysom and all these other guys screwing around with this guy. And that's Mickey Loomis. So Dennis Allen is gone. You can celebrate and say it's ding dong, the witch is dead. Which, you know that old song? And clap it up. But it's going to be a short celebration because Mickey Loomis, the dude that hired him, that don't know what he's looking for, is the guy that's making these decisions and the trades and all this kind of stuff. That idiot running the team. So what's stopping them for finding another Dennis Allen? I have no faith and confidence in Mickey Loomis at this terrible judgment. And then get up here with this bull crap about Dennis Allen is a great coach. He never said any excuses. That's a damn lie. I sit up here with dozens of interviews from Dennis Allen, sitting up there excuse making. You're not supposed to use injuries as an excuse. Because you have a depth chart. I don't care how many injuries you have. Everybody has them. They're not exclusive to you. Everybody has injuries. You have to move around it. You have to get up off your ass, Mickey Loomis, and make trades. Pull people, do stuff. If you got bum ass players collecting checks on your damn team, you're supposed to put them in the street. I mean, there are literally guys on the team not doing a damn thing but stinking, and they still collecting checks. I've pointed out several players that continually and consistently get beat. And they still on the Saints team collecting checks. And we wondering why the team on a 7-game free fall. Let's be real, man. All this garbage and this crap, we're not going for it. We're not going for this garbage. Dennis Allen should have been fired a long time ago, but we on your neck now, Loomis. That's two. We got one out of the way, and you next. You the problem. We understand that you destroyed the cap. You messed this team up with this dumb coach you hired here and sit up there stupidly and ignorantly calling this guy some type of great coach when anybody could see all this man was a defensive coordinator. And in the very end, his defense couldn't even hold up to keep him on the job. Come on, man. Hell out of here. That BS. Loomis is still my focus. And it's going to continue to be my focus until he's changed out of that general manager's seat. Somebody else needs to be here to fix the wrong that he's done with the bad decision makings with the draft. We can't draft defensive ends right. We hitting on undrafted guys, but the draft sucks. You can't get any exclusive free agents in here because of the fact that your salary cap is busted to hell on all these players. So what are you going to do? So, yes, Dennis Allen is the ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead. Yeah, he dead. But at the same time, we still got the major big witch and the big floundering, flopping fool at the top making excuses with bad decision making. Nobody in their right mind would put their reputation on the line for Dennis Allen. You know, Dennis Allen ain't no leader, man. Everybody could see it. We seen it and said it old time, and we are vindicated today because you're forced to fire him, which means we were right. 1,000% right, and you were wrong. Don't let him make it. Don't forget about it. He was wrong, and he had to put this bastard on the street. This dude sitting up here, it took 7 straight losses to put him on the street, wasting time. Didn't take 5. 7 straight losses to the worst team, then end up losing to the worst team in the NFL before they put this goddamn guy on the street. Everybody calling for it. I'm calling for economic boycotts and everything, and I'm not relenting. Still economic boycott till we see changes at the top, or if you don't, this situation will repeat itself. He got to be up out of the general manager position. I'm not relenting on these people, man. They play too many games, man. Anyway, man, let's hit this, man. Let's keep it going, man. I ain't going to be with y'all long on this show. I got another stream I got to do later on, but I just wanted to talk to y'all about this. I did a little report early on today. And we wanted to kind of go over, I wanted to touch on a few little things. This article, I think Cat Terrell, her and Jeremy Fowler wrote this article. What does Dennis Allen firing mean for the Saints? And then Derek Carr, and why Derek Carr is into it? Because Dennis Allen brought him on over here. And like one of the reporters says that Dennis Allen got fired with Derek Carr as his quarterback in Oakland, and then or the Raiders, wherever he was, and then he gets fired when he brings him over here. So history repeats itself. Now, what is it about Carr? Do I think Carr can help you win? Yes, if he's play action and you protect him and you have a running game. He can't do it by himself. And he's not worth $150 million. He's not. He's another excuse-making ass dude who likes to hide behind the thin veneer of religion. This is real. This is truth talk. This is true. I don't have no agenda and no axe to grind against none of these people. I just want my team to win. And the only way for our team to win, family, is we have to cut the bullshit and tell the truth, man. We got to cut the BS and tell the truth. We got to cut this out. Let me play this for y'all, man. Listen, this is RG3, man. He's watched the game and seen what happened with Carr when he threw the ball. Listen to what RG3 had to say about the Carr pass to Olave.
All right, people, that's it. I've had enough. All right, quarterbacks are throwing way too many hospital balls in the NFL now. Now, just because DBs can't hit wide receivers and pass catchers like they used to 10 years ago doesn't mean that we should be making bad decisions throwing the football across the middle of the field. It is our job as quarterbacks to protect our pass catchers. Anyone who's ever played the position of quarterback absolutely knows that feeling of when you throw a hospital ball and how guilty you feel about it. Why? Because you like the players that you're playing with, you like the guys you're playing with, and of course, you want to make great decisions and make great plays. Right now in the NFL, because of those rule changes, it's led to worse decision-making and worse quarterback play. We got to stop throwing hospital balls, not just for our wide receivers, but for the game and for their long-term health with their families. Come on, guys, we got to be better. All right, people. That's
All
it.
right, there it is. That's RG3. I just wanted to play that for y'all, man. On that, and that's what his thoughts was. Now, I don't think Carr was trying to hurt the man. I think Carr was just trying to make a play. But at the same time, you seen it happen. Just say, like, man, I'm sorry. That would have killed all that Michael Thomas stuff. Just say I'm sorry. But this dude's just like Dennis Allen. They scared to take any blame or any responsibility for shit that they do. They don't want to take no responsibility. You ain't no effing leader if you don't take responsibility for the shit that you do. You're not a leader, and you're not a good role model for your children or nobody, because I don't advocate for my children not to take responsibility for the stuff that they do. If they screw up and make mistakes, own it. You own it. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're making $150 million, own the shit. That's all I'm saying. If you're a good parent, you advocate for accountability. You don't have anything if you don't have accountability, man. You don't have anything. That's why Dennis Allen was doomed to fail, because he's an off-code coach practicing off-code decision-making, like the bullshit he did with Rattler. Every time Rattler's his Carr was hurt, Rattler was the choice to be the starting quarterback. The moment Carr is healthy, Rattler's the third-string quarterback again. Get your stupid ass out of here with that. He's so dumb and stupid. That's off-code. That makes the team look at you funny. That's why you in the fucking street today. Dude, but he'll go follow up Sean Payton, though. He'll go run behind Sean Payton. Sean Payton will give him a job. It's just crazy, man. Destroy your team for 3 years, and a dumbass GM let him do it. And then all he going to do is go run up under Sean Payton's skirt when it's all said and done. And collect money from you to do it. Boy, I tell you, man, these people are a joke. How the Saints get here from 2-0 start where they rolled up 91 points? The Saints look practically unstoppable over 2 games, but those victories over the Cowboys and Panthers, who were combined 5 games, don't look nearly as impressive. First, they lost close games. The Eagles and Falcons simply got outclassed by Kansas City. Saints consistently made mistakes in their defense, which allowed the 7th fewest yards per game through the first 2 weeks, became a liability and ranks 28th. The Panthers' loss Sunday was more of the same shaky defense, struggling offense, mistakes at critical times. What does it mean for Derek Carr? The Saints have already gotten a 3-game look at QB Rattler. Carr is under contract for next season. That means likely the Saints are sticking with Carr unless they want to see what they have in second-year quarterback Hayner, who has limited playing time this year. Carr is due $10 million next year because of guaranteed roster bonus and has $30 million of his base salary and $25 million guaranteed for injury. The amount becomes fully guaranteed on the 3rd day of the 2025 league year. Allen was the driving force behind signing Carr in 2023, but moving on from him won't be easy if that's what the Saints choose to do with their next coach. Carr's $51 million cap hit will have to be addressed in some way next year. So how he and the rest of the team plays to the end season will likely go a long way toward any offseason decision. Because usually when a new head coach comes in here, it's another thing about making it difficult for you to be able to have if you want to attract any of these guys, whether it was Slowick from Houston or Johnson from Detroit or Aaron Glenn or Mike Vrabel or Brian Flores or, whomever, because there are quite a few potential solid coaches out there that's miles above the guy that we had here. But most of the time when you bring your own head coach in here, he wants his own quarterback. How you going to do that for the next guy? You're not going to be. He'll be saddled with Derek Carr because the Saints can't get from under Carr because of the restructuring that happened this season. They're basically caught up to Carr for this year, next year. And there's huge ramifications in terms of dead money attached to Carr's deal, with basically gives Carr for the leverage to get that, basically the security that the Saints have this massive cap hit that it will deter them from releasing him, or nobody's going to trade for him. So you're stuck with Carr. Me, I'm not so much the person that's really that down on Carr. I think the bad thing about Carr is you can't be a leader without accountability. The thing that I noticed since Carr's been here about studying film, it's just me, because I pay attention to a lot of the stuff. When you watch last year, when Carr was there with Pete Carmichael, they were saying over and over again that they're studying tape, but you go back and watch his play, he was basically doing the same thing over and over again. Then when Clint Kubiak came here, he started changing everything. He's like, oh no, a lot of what was going on with Derek Carr last year was Pete Carmichael was not implementing the changes needed for his game. He's an 11-year quarterback. He got a lot of bad habits. Bad habits like sometimes he gets stuck on the same side of the field. We've seen that all last year where he doesn't go through progressions. He'll get stuck on one side of the field and stare guys down. You're not supposed to do that. The film said that over and over and over again. He'll get stuck on one side of the field. He wouldn't fan through his progressions. That's a violation. That's unfundamental. That'll get you beat. That'll get you intercepted because you're not giving you a chance to see all your options. He would do that on tape. When Clint Kubiak came here, he started to work on trying to speed Carr up because he was too slow for his system. And the fact that Carr wasn't going through his progressions. He wasn't cycling through his progressions like he was supposed to. Love the deep ball throw of Derek Carr doing that. I'm going to give him a little credit, or some, not credit, but give him some space because he was missing 3 games. He came in there, he was trying to make the throw. I don't think he's a person that he was trying to hurt Chris Olave. I think he was just off. He's not the most accurate guy in the world, but his passes did look better as the game progressed to a degree, because at some point Clint Kubiak was taking him out of the game on 3rd down because he couldn't even make a 3rd down throw. They had to put Taysom Hill in there on 3rd down to go and get multiple 3rd downs to keep the drive alive. They just took him off the field. Put 1 in the chat if you guys seen that. If you peeped that out. All facts. But you have to win with Carr. There's no trade that you're going to get Carr up out of here. You're going to have to win with Carr. You're going to have to win with him. And the best way to win with Derek Carr is to give him a running attack and get him into the play action. If you can't get Derek Carr into the play action to have deep ball throw wide receivers that can go and get it, going to be a problem. You got to have deep ball receivers that can go out and get it, because his best weapon is to throw that ball down the field. He got a gun. But but as an 11-year veteran, you can't turn him all the way around and correct him to what you want him to be. You just got to take his best qualities, which is that deep ball throw, and get him into play action, give him a running attack, and let him cook. That's what you got. That's all you can do. But this Carr contract, does it throw away some of these potential head coaches? It could. But the contract makes him here. Could GM Mickey Loomis lose his job? Unlikely. Loomis has been with the organization since 2000, has been a general manager since 2002. Loomis is one of the members of Gail Benson's inner circle, having worked under her husband, Tom Benson, until his death in 2018. The only non-owner that has been in a similar role is Cincinnati Bengals player personnel director Duke Tobin, who has been in the job since 1999. It's hard to imagine Gail would want to overhaul the front office that has remained largely intact since she took over the job, which is the reason why she should overhaul it. The hierarchy of the New Orleans Saints organization. Don't believe me? Go pull up the goddamn website, NewOrleansSaints.com, and go to the staff and look up the executives. And then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, 7 people rather. And out of those 7 people, only one of the people, that's Mickey Loomis, at the top of the echelon of the organization, know what kind of football, know about football on the field. The rest of them are people that's tied to making money. So that's showing you what type of team this is. They built for to make money, which is nothing wrong with making money. I like to make money. But if you're in the business of people pleasing, and you're in the business of that, you cannot sit up here and just pretend like the team is going to be fine. No, people, see, the thing about it is their patience, they can be patient all day. They still making money because you're paying them. But as soon as people get frustrated, the money stops. Then they are forced to make a decision, because when people you hear the emails, the phone calls, because people are emailing them, people are calling them, and they're saying, listen, they didn't make a move until it was absolutely necessary to make a move. The man lost to the worst team in the NFL. If he would have won it or bought him a week until Atlanta beat him, he would. If he'd have beat Carolina, he would have bought him another week here. Just keeping it real. So it's just their time wasting and blind, greedy people, dude. They're at the top, greedy, and that's what you got to make them pay with the money. So it's hard to imagine Gail Benson would overhaul that front office. Largely intact since she took over the job, with the exception of Terry Fontenot taking the Falcons GM role. While it's possible Loomis could one day move into a different role and promote someone to the general manager title, it's hard to imagine he leaves the organization unless he chooses to retire. Now, this is the problem. And we can facilitate such a change right now, especially if that's an item on your boycott list, which it is number 2. Number 1 was to get rid of Dennis Allen. Congratulate yourself because you did that. Number 2 is to force Mickey Loomis out of that role. He's been in there for far too long. Since 02, he's been sitting up there as the general manager since 02. 02. That's 22 years. It's time for you to go, man. You can't tell me since 22 years up there he's in tune with NFL today. And he really doesn't need the general manager job. It's just a power grab. An attention whore move by Mickey Loomis to stay in the spotlight of the people. He doesn't need the role. He has a job already. He's the vice president of football operations. What does he need with the general manager role? Why doesn't he give it to Kai Hartley? Why don't he give it to him? That needs to make a change. They need to reformat the top of that organization, or this will keep happening. Dennis Allen ain't the end. They missed on Matt Campbell because they don't have football IQ, fam. Let's get this all the way truthful, man. Dennis Allen should never have been the coach of the team. He never had the resume. You have to have a resume to be qualified to be the head coach of a team. Every now and again, you'll get these phonies and these fakes and these brown-nosed kiss-ass types like Dennis Allen that ultimately sneak in there. But ultimately, you look at him and see this guy's not no head coach, man. This dude's just a coordinator. He doesn't have any motivational abilities. He doesn't know how to speak to the team. He don't know how to talk to people. He's backstabby. He's weaselly. He'll throw your ass under the bus in a moment. He'll throw you under the bus. He threw his team under the bus, and the Atlanta lost and apologized to the Falcons. But not one of them stinking, funky, trifling ass losses that Dennis had during this season when he was on a 7-game winning streak did he ever come out to the Who Dat Nation and says, you know what, y'all, I got to apologize for what my team has been looking like. I'm so ashamed that it's not who we are as an organization. And I promise you that I will do everything in my power to turn this around. And everybody in that building will be nervous and terrified of losing their jobs because I will not rest until I turn over every stone and find out why my team is underachieving. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear that? I sound more like a goddamn head coach than that asshole ever sound. But he'll open his flapping, dirty, stinking mouth to apologize to the Falcons, who would kick your teeth in the same situation. But never at one time did he think highly enough of you to apologize for the stinky, trifling 7-game losing streak that he bestowed upon you. Trash, man. Good riddance. Bad riddance, actually. Shit, left us power with this garbage. Now we got this other buffoon we got to get out of here. This house is this people's house is infested with rodents, man. We just got rid of this possum, and now we got another mouse out running around here. It's just crazy. How enticing will the Saints' job be in the offseason? What names would you expect to be involved in? And they go into that. They talk about all this kind of stuff, that and the third. But you missed on. You had Matt Campbell, who took the Detroit Lions, who was a dumpster fire, and made him respectable in a short period of time. How did Mickey Loomis miss Matt Campbell and he'd been sitting up there that whole time? How he missed him? How he missed any of these? They had solid coaches there. What's that? Because this dude don't know what he doing. He don't know what he doing. He living off the Sean Payton rep, and he think he's some kind of genius, and he ain't shit. I've been saying that this guy can't GM. He tore up your cap. He left you stuck with a coach for far too long, and now we dealing with the ramifications of it. So in the end, man, now they looking at Aaron Glenn would be a good fit. We had Aaron Glenn down here. We had Campbell. They talking about Ben Johnson and Todd Monken and all these guys, Bobby Slowick. But listen, a lot of these guys, man, listen, they want their own quarterbacks, and the Saints have issues and problems. They ain't going to have a lot of money next year to go after free agents because they're going to be stuck with all of this crap. So so we kind of pinned down. So it's a very unique situation that the Saints are in. That's why I had the question in the poll about what do you think the outcome of this season would be? Now I do like I do like Darren Rizzi, but it's yet to be determined what this would be, what this at all would represent. You see what I'm saying? We don't know exactly, how this is going to end up being. I don't know. It's just one of those things you have to watch out for, man. I don't know, because I do like Darren Rizzi, but I don't know if he's qualified enough to dig this team out of the hole at the end. And then you got all these moves, you got to do all this stuff, and you got to do a lot of quick evaluating, bro, because this ain't the bye week. This is, you still have to get ready for Atlanta. Atlanta coming in here. Atlanta is coming to town, and you got to be able to get your team, your stuff ready, get whatever you implementing in place, and get it together, because Atlanta's coming. They're coming to kick your teeth in. They're smiling from ear to ear right now. What's going on with the Saints? Saints are real, and they got to get ready to take on Atlanta and salvage whatever season they got left. Louisiana says Gail stepped in once as the family members' media started calling her out, and she had no choice to fire Dennis Allen. The fact that the money started dropping also helps too. Thank you. The people love money, bro. They love money, man. They love money. Ultimate Streams TV says, how in the hell we are over 80 plus? That's Mickey Loomis. That's what I'm telling you. When I was saying like Dennis Allen is a small chump in the room. He's a small fish of the problems that's happening with the Saints, because there would be no Dennis Allen if it wasn't for Mickey Loomis. That's why I was saying his judgment is bad. How did you miss Campbell or Aaron Glenn or any of these guys and grab Dennis Allen? Why? And I'm going to tell you why. Sean Payton told him to hire him, and he did it. He'll do whatever Sean Payton tell him to do. He would do whatever Payton asked him to do. He would do it. Even if it involved like the trade when we sent Sean Payton to Denver, we sent the 3rd round pick with him. I'm the only one sitting up asking, why are we sending the 3rd round pick with Sean Payton to Denver? He sent that pick with Sean Payton because the Payton picks that he had when he got there was ate up because of the trades that was made with them to get Russell Wilson over there. And he sent that pick out there to help Payton draft. You see that? So you would sacrifice future draft capital to help Sean Payton. This dude is a clown, man. This dude is a clown. It's a clown. He's a clown, man. I'm sorry, y'all, to be telling y'all this, bro, but that's why we are where we are with Dennis Allen. It's because of Loomis. Loomis is a clown. He don't know what he's doing. He doesn't have a vision. That's why you're $80+ million in the cap for next year. This dude don't know what he's doing. He don't know. People are like, damn, Q, that's really the real. Yes. God damn it. Yes. It's not hard to tell. He don't know what he's doing. Nobody hires Dennis Allen as their head coach with all these other guys out here with better resumes. He never won anything. How did he get the job? He never won anything because of Sean Payton. Told him to do it. So he orchestrated this whole little fake hiring thing and did all these coaches looking around, talked to that man for 8 hours and offered them the head coaching of the offensive coordinator job. And that guy was way more qualified than Dennis Allen. You talking about Eric Bieniemy. You talking about resume. He was way more qualified than with Dennis Allen. Man had multiple Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator, all that kind of stuff. You talking resume. Man, listen. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit of this, man. Y'all got any questions, throw them in the chat. Please feel free to hit that like button, man. Yeah, but we got problems, man. We still ain't out the woods with that dumbass Dennis Allen. He gone. That possum's out of here. But we still have another rodent in the building running around that needs to change. 20-something odd years sitting at the top of the general manager position is enough. You don't have any new blood up there. That's a problem. The team is too old at the top, and it's trickling down in this. That's why you got an old team at the top and an old team at the bottom, man. Ain't that old saying in the scriptures that talk about so above, so below? So above, so below. You got old ass people sitting on top of the team, suffocating the youth from getting up there. And then you got old people at the bottom of the team. So above, so below. Thanks for fulfilling actual biblical research. So above, so below. They are old at the top and old at the bottom. Man, come on. Here go Rizzi.
We need to circle the wagons right now. We need everybody on board. And the only way I know how to do it is to fight and work out of it. So that's what we're going to do. So with that, I'll take some questions.
Riz, what changes do you anticipate making?
Listen, John, we're going to look at everything. Everything's going to get, as I told the team this morning, everybody and everything's going to get reevaluated, evaluated and reevaluated. Because right now the product is not acceptable. So everything down from the schedule to how we do things, to the active players, to the daily schedule, we're going to look at everything. How we practice, all those different things. And so really haven't made any final decisions on all that, but a wise man and Hall of Fame coach once told me, if something's got to change, and something's got to change. So we're gonna make some changes.
When you say how we practice, like practice harder, longer, different?
Yeah, I'm just talking about look at everything really. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I think we've been doing things around here the same way for a long time, and maybe some are good, maybe some aren't, and we can make some changes. So, but there'll be some different things that we do for sure.
Is that looking at lineup changes and who's going to play as well as
Yeah, not sound like a broken record, but literally we're gonna reevaluate everything. We're gonna reevaluate everybody, everything, the staff, the coaches, the players. Because right now, when you lose 7 games in a row, we're obviously not in a place where we can just stay status quo. I don't think this is going to be Darren Rizzi taking over the steering wheel. We're just going to keep the ship moving forward. We got to make some changes along the way. So this is not just a change at the top of the head coach. We got to look and really evaluate everything that we're doing.
how much do you embrace this challenge?
Yeah, well, listen, I embrace everything. I think you guys know my personality pretty good by now. I'm a passionate guy. Kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a very realistic type of guy, and so I only know how to do things one way. I'm a little bit of I grew up a little bit of a fighter. I've really never been handed anything, and so I was a walk-on player in college. I was a free agent in the NFL. I started my coaching career in Division II. And so I've had to work for everything I've gotten, and this is no different. And I'm going to show up here every day of the week, and I'm going to work my ass off, and we're going to try to change the product on the field.
How tough this was for you, Riz, but how bittersweet is it? I mean, you obviously want to be a head coach, but you don't want it this way.
Yeah, this is not a day for celebration. This is a day for this is, like I said earlier, it's a tough day. This is I said the exact same message to the team. But at the same time, there's only one way to fight through this, and that's through hard work and showing up every day. And it's the reality of the situation. This is where we're at, and so I have no choice but to stand up here and be the leader that I think one of my strong suits is I'm a leader of men. I think that and in tough situations, leaders really show their true colors. And I think the rest of the team is the same thing. We're going to find out right now who's going to fight.
How did you find out this morning? Did Dale bring you in? How did you just...
I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep those private conversations. I'm going to keep those private.
Have you talked to Mickey or Garrett?
Yeah. Yep.
We've never really kind of asked you like your general football philosophies and what traits you want out of your team. Like, how would you kind of define some of those things?
Well, listen, I'm an accountability guy. Our motto on special teams since I took over has been 111th, and that's all about accountability. It's every person, knowing their part, understanding their part, knowing the role, understanding the role, and going out and executing it. And as I said to the team this morning, that 111th philosophy is going to be something that we carry, because in no other sport can one person have an error and it affects the other people on the. I gave a baseball analogy, I gave a basketball analogy. In baseball, Aaron Judge can go 0 for 4 and strike out 4 times, but Garrett Cole throws a perfect game, the Yankees are still going to win. LeBron can drop 60. J.R. Smith can go 2 for 21 like he normally did, and LeBron could, they're still going to win. So, my point is that can't happen in football. In football, one guy messes up on one play, it affects the other 10. And so I think that's one of the areas we can improve in. I think we can be more accountable. I'm always an accountability guy. I'm a keep it real guy. Like I said, I'm going to tell you how I see it. Not a lot of secrets with me. I think that players like that. I think players respond to that. I think it's one of my strengths. Like I said, I think I'm a good leader. And so that's how we're going to kind of keep it rolling.
Was that Hall of Fame coach you're talking about, Bill Parcells?
It was.
And how much is he shaping sort of?
Well, listen, when I got into the NFL, Bill Parcells was the executive vice president of the Miami Dolphins. He's the one that hired me. We're both North Jersey guys, and I grew up watching his Giants teams, and we're from the same neck of the woods, if you will, kind of same personality type guys. And that's how I kind of got to know Sean, through that tree, that Tony Sperano, Sean Payton tree. And so, so I had the honor and the privilege of working for Coach Parcells. And so, that was his quote. If something's going to change, something's got to change. So that always stuck with me.
Kind of mood or state of locker room right now?
Listen, I think it's a tough day for everybody. I mean, I don't think anybody envisions walking in here in week 9 and there being a coaching change. But at the same time, I think guys are going to, I expect and I anticipate, my expectation is the guys are going to circle the wagons and we're going to rally the troops. And listen, I had a lot of positive conversations today. I don't think that we're in a situation where anybody's lost hope, if you will. And so, listen, I met with the leaders of the team. I think it was a very positive conversation. I expect the leaders to lead. We got to do better in a lot of areas, but in no way, shape, or form have I ever felt like we lack effort or anything like that. I think we're getting that. We got to execute better, and and really, there's no excuses. It doesn't really matter who's out there. You're going to hear a lot about that, and I've heard a lot about that. And this is the NFL, and everyone's dealing with that. So we got to go out. We got to execute better in all 3 phases. and we got to be more accountable. Like I said, locker room wide. But I felt like I've had a lot of positive. I've touched just about every player today in some way, shape, or form, and I feel like we have a positive attitude right now. But at the same time, it's still a tough day. But this is the hand we've been dealt. We've got to dealt the cards ourselves. But and so we got to play the hand, and we got to move forward and work through it.
A lot of change, man. A lot of change. Well, I mean, there's a lot of change that got to happen, man. It's Monday. The firing happened. Interim coach is called out, and they got to move and shake and start getting that right way. You know what I'm saying, fam? They got to get it together quick. And it's a lot to look at when you're, like Coach Rizzi said, when you're 0-7, man, not over the last 7 games, 2-7 overall. That's a tall order to do. And the only way to start winning and to get the team back on the right frame of mind is basically you got to do it one game at a time. And man, we watch this team, man. I watch all of the film. I listen to all of the interviews. And just from my perspective and just looking at what the Saints are, and Coach Rizzi stepping in there, he said, we got to look at everything. You better look fast. You better look fast and find out what you need to do moving forward, because you're in the meat grinder now. You're in the dead set in the center of the season. You got an Atlanta team looking to come here and kick your teeth in, to sweep you on the season, followed by a competitive Cleveland. Even though Cleveland lost, I mean, they're still going to be competitive with you before you get an opportunity to get into the bye. So you have to start focusing on one game at a time, beating the Falcons. One thing I do like about Coach Rizzi, that he is a energy guy. He is a passionate guy. We need somebody there with that passion, with that energy, to talk to these players to get them bucked up. So maybe we'll see the team flow a little bit better there, because they didn't have a leader. Dennis Allen didn't really do anything. He didn't make the necessary corrections. He didn't get the guys out of there that was not doing their jobs. And I kept saying it week after week, just looking at the team, offensively speaking, the Saints have to be, with all of the injuries to the wide receiver room, they're going to have to go out and find wide receivers that can stretch the field. They're going to have to find some guys. And then they're going to have to get these guys ready for football. They're going to have to find them. They're going to have to work overtime to get Marquez Valdez-Scantling ready. Because I don't think we'll get Chris Olave back this week. Might not get him back next week. I don't know how it's going to look. But with those guys out, you have to find other guys, and you got to get them in there, and you got to get it going. So if the Saints are hitting on anything, and Rizzi got a plan, he better go and find some wide receivers to help stretch that field. That's number one. Number two is he has to work on improving the depth of his offensive line. These offensive linemen, the backup linemen, are garbage. 2 of the guys shouldn't even be on this team. Ali Udoh should have been put in the streets several weeks ago. He is completely garbage. He's not ready for what we got here. We need to go out and find other people. The backup offensive line is horrible. And we have to be about the business of running the football. He did a decent job of running the football, but we couldn't get into the play action bag because we didn't have anybody to throw to down the field. So the Saints will have to fix that. They're going to have to get wide receivers. They're going to have to do what they got to do. And then if you move over to, and that's still a lot, but still going on over to the defense, the Saints did a better job stopping the run. But at the same time, they're going to have to do something about the secondary. Will Marshawn Lattimore be ready to come back here? And what's going on with Kool-Aid McKinstry? They had hamstring issues. They got kind of cooked there. That's a part of the game. And there's a few things that needs to happen here. And then, of course, you're talking about the quarterback position. You got to get Derek Carr in the right mind. We got to get into the running game and reference to it, getting into play action where we can get the ball down the field to make life easier for the offense. We got to bring back the explosive plays because we don't have the explosive plays. So if he's talking about looking at everything, man, and then as the defense, man, listen, man, we getting older there. They're not as productive, but the defense is still giving you something. Like they gave a better performance to a degree in the Carolina game. But it's a lot, man, to ask for. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like I said, man, it's a lot. You had Taysom. You had some of these other guys came back, and the Saints still couldn't do nothing. For the second consecutive week, the Saints had 4 of their 5 offensive linemen back, and still couldn't do nothing. Lucas Patrick left the game limping. We don't know what's going on there. But like I said, Lucas Patrick is not really a starter anyway. Lucas Patrick is a swing guy. He should be a swing offensive lineman. He should not be. He should be like a James Hurst type. He shouldn't be a starter for you unless your starting lineman is missing for a few games and he go in there and play a couple of games, and then when your guy gets back, he goes back where he belongs. He shouldn't be starting for you at no capacity. But these are things the Saints have to fix right now if they want their season to continue. So I do like Coach Rizzi passion, but boy, they dropped them in a hole. Could he ignite the Saints to start winning games? Because they've lost 7 in a row. They must then go on a 7-game winning streak. What you lost is what you have to build. And the next 7 games are going to be interesting. We got all these other teams, so we'll see, man. So I wish Coach Rizzi the best, man, to try to turn this around, because this is not a good situation. The Saints waited too long into the season and for the team to be in a hole before it makes a move, man. It might have destroyed whatever chance they have of rebounding. We'll see how it is. One game at a time. Let's go to Tyrann Mathieu, who likes Dennis Allen a lot. He called him the fun coach. Now that Dennis Allen is gone, let's see what he had to say.
Disappointing, heartbreaking. It's the first team I ever been on that, really basically, got a coach fired. So, but very, very disappointing.
How did you find out the news?
DA he sent us a text. That was, basically, kind of saying, he's sorry how everything went. And then obviously you walk in the building and you start checking. I haven't really been on social media. But then you just start saying things like, the Saints parted ways with him.
And Foster said, Darren Rizzi's the only one who's really addressed you so far as the team.
Yes.
What was the message you took from him and how he wants to go forward?
Well, I think we kind of dug ourselves in the hole. And so I think Riz's message was basically, to fill it back up. And it's going to take the people that's, really in this room, from management to, staff to players. And I think we collectively, we all have to be on the same page. And quite frankly, we all played a part in, him not being here anymore. So it's definitely a tough place to be. But I think from a accountability standpoint, a unity standpoint, I think this kind of gives us an opportunity to just get closer and get tighter.
You mentioned before how much you believe in the NBA, and obviously you work with him closely, being a defensive guy. Like, does that make it hurt maybe even more because of that personal relationship?
Yeah, for sure, man. He's a good dude, man. He's honest. He's hardworking. And, when he came back, man, you got to realize, he kind of inherited, a really bad situation, defensively. And, I think everything he was, able to do, like it stands out, with Cam and DeMario. And, it really wasn't until, DA got back here that, really those guys started to really, excel. And so it's
I was under Peyton, bro. Come
tough,
on,
man. But I'm from New Orleans, so I remember like when we was not too good on defense. And, I think what he was able to do defensively for us, I don't think that should ever be like overlooked or dismissed.
We're talking about him as a defensive coordinator, bro. We talking about as a head coach, man. He gets his credit for being a defensive coordinator. We talking about the head coach. That's why he got fired. He didn't get fired for being a defensive coordinator. He got fired for being a head coach. Come on, bro.
I thought he did a great job, defensively, It's tough, man. I think anytime you lose as many games as we've lost in a row, a lot of questions have to get answered. Things have to change. But like I told the defensive back unit, man, if you don't feel bad, something's probably wrong with you. I absolutely believe that, defensively, we played probably the biggest role in, him getting fired. To go from a really good defense to a defense that's really kind of unrecognizable. You know what I mean? As far as our standard goes, yeah, man. That's tough. And I think we defensively played the biggest role. With the way we played, the way we didn't close out games, tackling has kind of been an issue for us.
Yeah, this dude, listen, man, I like Tyrann Mathieu, man. I'm from the Ninth Ward, man. I'm from the city of New Orleans, too. And I've always liked Tyrann Mathieu, but he tap dancing for Dennis Allen on this one. We're not talking about Dennis Allen, the coordinator. We're talking about Dennis Allen, the head coach. He was always this dude. Dennis Allen's a cool dude. He worked his ass off. How could he be on this side of the spectrum? And Amy Trask that worked with Dennis Allen in an executive level say the exact opposite. If he was that hard working, he wouldn't have got fired today, man. What are you talking about, bro? This is a part of the non-accountability nonsense. That need to go away, man. If you won't be cool with Dennis Allen, be cool with Dennis Allen on your own time. But when you get an opportunity to go before people, talk to them and tell them the truth. Yeah, you had something to do with him being fired, but he had something to do with you helping him get fired, because a lot of what he was doing didn't make no sense. He didn't have any accountability. At least you learning that from him. He's tap dancing for the man right now. You hard working, man, get out of here. You think we're the only people, we know what kind of dude this is, but you'll never hear this guy here tell about what happened with Dennis Allen, what he did with Spencer Rattler, how he buffered Jake Hayner and played this little game of this shell game of keeping Rattler, who was popular than Carr, in the emergency position while Carr was healthy. He would never tap dance. He tapped his ass around that. About this guy never apologizing to the Who Dat Nation, but would apologize to the Falcons. Out of all of the disgusting losses, the worst loss of his career was a loss to the Carolina Panthers. A few days ago, he didn't utter one mumbling word about being apologetic to the Who Dat Nation. He didn't apologize to you at all. So miss me with these things, bro. Tell the truth time. This is the problem. This is the guy right here who this is the guy opposite of Marshawn Lattimore, opposite of Elvin Kamara, opposite of Michael Thomas and all these other dudes that was talking about what was wrong with this team, and people were name calling them. Even today, when Michael Thomas doesn't even have the ability, he don't even talk to the press. But when he said what he said about Chris Olave, that's why I had to play the video for RG3, because some of the Who Dats be like, oh, I don't know, Q, such and such, such and such. No, but when I played that, I was playing it from the perspective of a quarterback telling you the rules of what quarterbacks supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. I played that from a professional quarterback who's very good in college, and he did some stuff in pro. So he's very well spoken. I played it so he clear and cut so people can get what I'm saying, because not everybody played football. Not everybody understands that. So when I said it, and then I let the man say it, let that be clarity. But when you talk about guys like Lattimore and Elvin and those guys that had a standard, they had the standard that we thought the team's supposed to have. They shared that. Those guys got in trouble for that. And these guys like him and Demario Davis wasn't batting a damn eye when the team was falling through the floor. Where was these guys at when all this was going on? Where were they at? Where were the player-only meetings that I was calling for 2 years ago, a year and a half ago? Where were they at? Now all of a sudden it's all kind of funny feelings about Dennis Allen getting fired. You're a little too late for that, Playboy. Matter of fact, you dropped an interception pass, and Richard Sherman says they look like they're trying to get him fired, but Dennis Allen is a really good dude. Man, boy, if you got friends like this, boy, who need enemies, man? Good Lord, with friends like this, who need enemies? I feel bad. It's a bad day. But wasn't you? Hold on, bro. Wasn't you the one that dropped that interception in the game now? That's true. That's in the past. But man, get out of here, man. And I like this dude, man. But I can't see. You see how I just did there? That's keeping it real, even though you like somebody, and I like Tyrann Mathieu, I really do. But I'm going to call y'all on some BS, and that's what you're supposed to do. Supposed to call these guys out on this BS, and that was nothing but straight BS that he was spitting. Man, Dennis Allen did a lot for the team. He was a defensive coordinator under Sean Payton, bro. What are you talking about? He got paid. He got his accolades. He got his respect for that. Nobody's taking his respect away from being what he did as a defensive coordinator. That's not the point. Don't muddle the lines here. He didn't get fired for being a defensive coordinator. He got fired for being the head coach of a team. Boy, I tell you, man, these people here can talk you in circles and tell you some BS and some bullshit, boy, if you ain't got a set of brain cells. Boy, I tell you, they'll walk you all in circles and destroy the truth, all to the benefit the man, get out of here. We're not going for that. We're not going for that. We got our heads screwed on straight. We know who's at fault for why the team is losing. We know who it is. And you didn't do it by yourself. You were set up to fail, Tyrann Mathieu. Well, we kind of failed him. No, he failed you. Because of how is that? Because a coach is supposed to lead his players, not the other way around. And when the coach doesn't leave his players, you have losers. 7 straight games worth of them. A coach leads his team, not the other way around. That's how it goes. So he failed you, and in return, you gave him the same energy, whether you knew it or not. The energy he gave you was an energy of inconsistency and failure, and you returned the favor. Why? Because you projected his mindset and system, because as the coach of the team, his mindset dominates the team. So if he's inconsistent and wishy-washy, the team will behave in his behavior pattern. This is a well-known philosophy. The players cannot overcome the mindset of the coach. It's his team. You are there because he wants you to be there. You're playing in systems that he recommend or created for you to play in. So this is what happens. We know this all too well. We're the Great Saint Think Tank. We know all about this crap, man. That's why we can't be fed a bell of goods. Let's finish up with Tyrann Mathieu. Let's see if he gives any more love praise to Dennis Allen.
Really, all season, I felt like we were able to take the ball away. We just didn't really capitalize on it too often, So I think defensively, man, like we probably played a bigger role, in him not being here anymore.
Some of the fellow defensive players mentioned their frustration associated with each other. How was the feeling of the defense yesterday going into today as well?
Man, I think defensively, I think we're all disappointed. I had a conversation with the defensive back unit today, and I take full responsibility. I take full accountability for the way that we played. And when I signed here, man, like I signed to a top 5 defense, and I didn't always feel that they really needed me here. Like they were good before I got here. And what I'm trying to say is that, I think for the last 2 years, I haven't really been tiring, and, from that perspective, I take a lot of credit. I take a lot of responsibility for, the way we play on the back end and how it's looked. It's not my standard. It's not my way of doing things. And so, I just feel bad. I feel bad about it.
Darren, you're from New Orleans, obviously.
What? What? You ain't been tiring. That was weird. Why would he say that? That's weird, man. I don't get that at all. Let me listen to that again, fam. That was that was kind of strange.
Here. Like they were good. I take full responsibility. I take full accountability for the way that we played. And
yeah,
when I signed here, man, like I signed to a top 5 defense, and I didn't always feel that they really needed me here. Like they were good before I got here. And what I'm trying to say is that, I think for the last 2 years, I haven't really been tiring, and, from that perspective, I take a lot of credit. I take a lot of responsibility for, the way we play on the back end and how it's looked. It's not my standard. It's not my way of doing things. And
what?
So, I just feel bad. I feel bad about it.
Darren, you're from New Orleans, obviously. You've got family, friends here. Can you relate to the frustration of the fans and understand kind of where they're at? How things are going?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Man, this city doesn't have a whole lot to offer, this state, and I think sports is a big deal. I think people, work hard all week. They slave, they minimum wage, like just to get to Sunday to see us and for that to kind of be the
nah, brother. No, No, we got a lot to offer, brother. What are you talking about? What? No, brother. Minimum wage people not coming to see you, brother. Unless somebody that's making more than minimum wage is paying their way. Minimum wage people not taking their money and buying Saints tickets. What's going on here? What's going on? Am I in the Twilight Zone right here? Where that damn Twilight Zone music? Hold on, man. I got to play the damn Twilight Zone music. I feel like I'm in a where am I all of a sudden? Where am I? Let me find that goddamn Twilight Zone music right quick. My goodness, where are we? My good, what happened? I thought we was talking. What happened here? What happened, fam? How did we? Oh my goodness. What happened? What is he talking about here? I'm gonna have to put the Twilight Zone music on that one there. That kind of lost me. My goodness, man. What happened there? What the hell happened, man? Yeah, I done put me in the Twilight Zone here. What? What's happening here? What's going on here? What is he talking about here? I'm totally lost here. Tyrann Mathieu just started talking all kind of ways here. What is
they minimum wage, like just to get the Sunday to see us and for that to kind of be the highlight, of the week. And I tell that story all the time as a kid growing up, right? You could get through the whole week and then we was always looking forward to Sunday because we knew the Saints was playing and we knew we could go get some food. Like somebody in the neighborhood was watching the game. They was throwing like a Saints party. And so I can absolutely feel, their frustration. We make a lot of money, man, playing the game, and those people, man, they work hard to be a part of it, to buy tickets and to buy jerseys and, just be invested in us, right? And so when we win, we all feel good. And I think when we lose, we all feel bad. And that goes for our fans too. And, it just hasn't been, really the product that they've kind of been used to, since 2006. And so, yeah, man, I mean, this is kind of like a part of the story that, you want to make sure that, you finish it the right way, you do it the right way. But yeah, I can totally understand people's frustration. Like we look forward to the Saints brightening our week. We look forward to LSU, brightening our week. And we totally, just dropped the ball, in that regard.
How would you message to those same fans for the next 8 weeks going forward?
Well, it's, I think you'll see us come closer. I think we'll be way more accountable. And I actually believe in Riz. I think Riz is the type of coach and the type of leader and the type of man that really can kind of command the room. I think he kind of knows what buttons to push to motivate his guys, right? And he's a straight shooter. And I think you need that sometimes. I think guys need to be called out sometimes, right? And so, I think Riz was going to provide us with that sense of reality, like always. And so
your boy Dennis Allen wasn't doing that?
To really playing for him, because like I said, he's a special teams coach, and I don't spend a lot of time with him, but we have a great relationship. And I think that says a lot about, who he is as a coach. I think, I've been on a few teams where special teams coaches don't really talk to guys.
How you got a good relationship with him if you don't talk to him, bro?
Don't need, you know what I mean? And so, he's a guy that has a really good relationship with a lot of people, as far as players and stuff goes. So, I think he'll be all right. And, on another note, like this is an opportunity for him too, to kind of make his mark and show the rest of the league that he can kind of command the team and, push those guys in the right direction. So I'm excited about it. Obviously, you never want anyone to be fired, because we all got bills, we all got kids, right? And it's not a good feeling, when you know somebody's, not going to be with you anymore. So I think Riz will do a great job. I think Joe Woods has coached in this league a lot. I think he's proven. And so, he called a lot of plays for us in training camp too. So I kind of already know what type of game we'll be playing, Sunday. So, yeah, man, I believe in those two guys. And, like I said, obviously under different circumstances, right? But, yeah, man, I believe in them.
All right, that's about enough, man. That was weird. because I didn't listen to this interview. I heard a little bit of Rizzi's interview in the car. I didn't listen to Tyrann Mathieu. You know, I wasn't able to be Tyrann. Why not? Because I don't think they needed me. They signed you here. They brung you here. They gave you a lot of money. But you couldn't be Tyrann? That was weird, dude. That he broke that out. Wasn't that weird, fam? Now, out of all this time, now listen, see, fam, after all this time, Tyrann Mathieu has been with the Saints. How long has it been? 3 years now? Hasn't it been like 3 years that Tyrann Mathieu been with the Saints? How long has Tyrann Mathieu been with the black and gold? Put it in the chat for me. Isn't it been 3 years? He's been with the Saints for like 3 years. I've never, out of all the dozens of interviews that man has had since he's been here, I've never heard him say that he couldn't, that he felt like when the Saints signed him, he didn't feel like they wanted him or that they needed him. His verbiage was, I didn't think they needed me. They signed me here. I didn't think they needed, and I really couldn't be the Tyrann that I needed to be, and I take full accountability for what? But this, I'm questioning it because number one, I never heard him say that out of all the interviews we played on this channel. We've never heard that. And I played all his stuff. I've heard all of his stuff, the majority of all his stuff, and I've never heard him say that. If you guys heard him say this, say, oh yeah, Q, he said that before. I've never heard that man say that he couldn't be who he wanted to be in the time that he's been here. Why not? I thought Dennis Allen was the fun coach. You jazzy Jeff and for him. Dennis Allen, the Fresh Prince, and Tyrann Mathieu is Jazzy Jeff. He's dancing in front of him, playing the music. He Flavor Flay. Dennis Allen is Chuck D. Tyrann Mathieu is Flavor Flay. Don't believe that. He got a big clock around his neck. He got colorful glasses on. His hat is tilted to the side. Don't believe that. Yeah. Man. Never heard that brother say that ever before. He couldn't be. Why not? Who's stopping you? Is it Dennis Allen, the fun coach? Man, I don't never heard this before. That's number one. Number two is, think about the day. This is the day Dennis Allen gets canned, and he tells you that on the same day in a reaction stream about Dennis Allen being fired. He tell you that he didn't feel like the Saints needed him and he couldn't be Tyrann. And he literally said, I take responsibility for that. He's been here for 3 years, right? Who's stopping this man from being, but it can't be Dennis Allen because he's too busy Flavor Flavin for him. I got a letter for the government. Yeah. Don't believe that. Man, I don't know what's going on here, man. That's why I had to put the damn Twilight music on. Tyrann took me to the Twilight Zone for a second. He took me to the Twilight Zone. I was like, what's going on here? What's happening? Boy, that was crazy. That was a crazy trip. I don't know what are you talking about. Thank you, Prime. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
3 years. 3 years, man. He been here, and I've never heard that brother say that ever, man. Never heard him say that one time. Brother Prime says, loser, DA 26 and 53, Carr 74, 4 and 9. Thank you, Brother Prime. Appreciate you. All right. Doc 54 says, you forgot the hell nah option in the. Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Fuck too kind.
I didn't want to. I should have said as opposed to yes or hell nah. Yeah, you're right, Doc. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I've never of all the time that we've heard that, I've never heard that before. Oh yeah, there you go. Let's ask Brother Dick Gregory what he thinks about what Tyrann Mathieu said. Brother Gregory, what do you think about what Tyrann just said?
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, man, and I dare motherfucker to pop.
Pop. What's up, Ray? He says them drugs from the LSU days catching up with him. I don't know what that was. That was very weird. Thank you. That was weird. That was weird, man. And then he says, yeah, everybody put their minimum wage together. Like, dog, I assure you, bro, you have not been in touch with people if you believe that nobody ain't taking a minimum wage and putting it together to go and talk about no Saints ticket. Them people too busy trying to make a living. They can give a rat's ass about the Saints. They got some people like that, man. They got people out here that keep their head down. They just trying to make ends meet. They ain't got time. Some people working 2 jobs. They got people working 2 jobs and part-time jobs, barely sleeping, trying to make ends meet. We talked about that before. Yeah, y'all make a lot of football money playing football. But there's a lot of demands that come with making a lot of money playing football. It's just what it is. You know, that's crazy. That to me, that shows me that brother's out of touch, man. Yeah, he definitely out of touch with people if he believes that. You know, I'm like, surely you people working 2 jobs ain't worrying about no Saints, man. They really aren't. They're not concerned about no Saints. Them people trying to feed their children, keep a roof over their head. All that type of stuff, man. I assure you, man. People didn't would make a minimum wage. Man, you know how much minimum wage is? In Saints tickets, it ain't gonna happen, brother. I assure you, sir. I assure you. JR Juice says, Q, you gotta understand that man grown as a player. We got a pop at, he says, when you got popped at LSU and the breed to make it out of the drug addict. And he bounced back. He's about 4 jerseys retired and a gold jacket. No, I'm not. I understand what you're saying in terms of his football acumen, but you have to, JR, you got that at least admit, brother, that this man's out of touch with what's going on out here. I understand where you're coming from, but it's not up to me to keep you in touch with your roots. Is up to you, right? You know, no matter how wealthy I get, one thing I assure you that I'm never going to lose touch with my roots. Because a person that do that, they tune chin, they kind of gravitate to some place they ain't got no business being. Your roots you're supposed to be rooted because it keeps you grounded. Insofar as in this crazy world with all these people doing all this crazy stuff out here, it keeps you grounded and centered, as opposed to getting in places and think you can do with all this other stuff you see these other people doing that ultimately gets them in trouble. But I understand his background. Hell, I didn't come up. My background ain't that far from him. I don't know if his parent situation and all that kind of stuff, but I have friends and family members that didn't have their fathers. I was fortunate. My mother and father and them stayed together for many years. It wasn't easy. They went through all kind of stuff. But some of my best friends I've known for years, their fathers wasn't in their lives like that, but they turned out to be good people, good men, and they stayed grounded in their situations. And I'm not trying to say who they are. A lot of these people didn't come up wealthy. We didn't come up wealthy. We didn't. We did not come up wealthy, but it's a part of the mentality of the person to understand and stay grounded, because it serves as a barometer or a compass of sorts to move or kind of navigate through this society and this world. Because if you're not grounded and you don't remember your roots or stay grounded within your roots, a person without no roots is dead, brother. That's like a tree. You rip the tree up by the roots, the tree's going to die. That's why they use the term stay grounded. These are all like nature terms. Stay grounded, which means stay attached to your roots, so you can always have something to go back to. You know what I mean? A person without no roots is dead, bro. And I'm not saying Tyron's not like that, but many of the people in this chat didn't come up wealthy. They didn't come up wealthy. A lot of the people had people, they went through what we call the struggle was. We went through the struggle, but we struggled as a family. We came through it. When we gained some success, we helped each other. And then we did what we got to do to keep moving forward without hurting people. That's what I did. I'm not saying for other people that did stuff on the side. You know, that's between you and the creator, the judge. But in the end, man, all I'm saying is I know how shit go, man. I know how shit goes. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's why my work ethic is what it is, man. It's all, you got to have that work ethic, but always stay grounded and stay true to your roots, man. A person without no roots is considered dead, man. That's real. That's real game right there. All right, but yeah, that was him talking. I was just making reference to the fact that he was saying about the fact that somebody was saying, he was saying that he couldn't be who he wanted to be. He didn't feel like the Saints really needed him because they were already a top defense, and then he couldn't be who he wanted to be. And he basically literally apologized for that. I've never heard that man say that. And he says that on the day Dennis Allen gets fired, which you would kind of attach that to the Dennis Allen firing. So was Dennis Allen the one stopping you from being who you was? But I thought Dennis Allen was the fun coach. He just was Jazzy Jeffing for the man just a moment ago, you know? So I don't know, man. It's just something to think about. Yeah. He said, yeah, Brute Saint says, preach, not wealthy, but got so much support around me to get me through. That's how it is, bro. When you got people that love you and you got family, man, you don't forget that. Don't abuse your family. You know, take care of the people that take care of you. Stay true to the people that stay true to you. You give 110 for those who give 110 for you. This is the code. This is how things are supposed to go. Never, never, ever give 110% to somebody that's not willing to do the same for you. That's not meaning that you are selfish, because the first act that you have is to preserve thyself. Without you, the world doesn't exist. You are your own separate personal universe. You're the center of your own personal universe. And without you, it doesn't exist. You get what I just said there? So you have to preserve thyself. You have to preserve thyself. You have to recharge thyself. You got to take care of your health, your wealth, and yourself. That's the three principles as a person. And then once you build that up in abundance, then you can begin then to facilitate between people. But when you're empty or low, don't give up yourself, because people do that and then they get bitter, which is a violation. You're not supposed to give all that you have if you have limited resources. You are supposed to take care of yourself first. And if you have enough, then give charity. But giving charity when you're not in position to give charity will lead to your demise. You will hurt yourself, which is a violation. That's not intelligent. You know, so these are the principles, man. You're supposed to preserve thyself. You're supposed to be, it's a degree of selflessness you're supposed to practice, but too much of it is bad. Just like with anything. You can't drink too much water. You can't eat too much food. You have to eat just enough and drink just enough. It's the same. It's balance is all across everything. It has to be operated in harmony. So these are just common principles we're talking about. But at the end of the day, that was kind of eye-opening to hear him say that, because I've never, out of all the dozens of interviews that I've heard from him, I never heard him say that he couldn't be who he wanted to be since he been with the Saints. And he basically apologized for that. That was really the surprise of the day for me, from hearing that from him. So he said he's going to be somebody different. That's very interesting, man. I wonder if anybody else heard that and caught that and wanted to investigate that. They need to look into that. Ask them some more questions about that. Questions kind of went back away from that. Marcus says, back in the day, I didn't know New Orleans Saints existed in the 90s was bad. He said, that's why I didn't know. Yeah, that's just a cultural thing, man. But yeah, this is something happening. Student says, watch out for true people come out. He says, watch the true people come out when they have to take over our elders. There are people who would take care of the elders and others who only collect the will. Yes, watch out for that too, fam. That, unfortunately, that's one in every family. That's one in every family. That's one of everything in every family. What's up, Balika? Good to see you. Yeah. Derek kind of upset. He said that fool said Louisiana didn't have nothing to offer. Sit there. Yeah, he did say that too. That's why I was kind of, when I was looking at it, I had to switch to the Twilight Zone. I'm like, where am I? That's what kind of got me to say that he's out of touch. Because what you mean New Orleans don't have nothing to offer, bro? We got a lot of stuff to offer. It depends on what you're looking for. We have it for you down here, whether it's culture or entertainment or whether it's knowledge, whatever. This place is very rich in culture. A lot of richness in whatever you're looking. What are you looking for? Of course, you say that if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't have nothing. No. They got plenty. New Orleans area is very rich in multicultural. We talking, whether you're talking cuisine, whether you're talking with information and sites and everything, this place is littered and loaded with information and sites and everything. It depends on what you want to know. I'm from here and I'm telling you, this is a very unique place based on the knowledge and the wisdom and everything around here. Like the Lower Ninth Ward was an area where a lot of activists that come from the city came from. Like a long time ago, the Lower Nine wasn't even considered a part of New Orleans. The Lower Nine was cut off and had to fight for the resources to be able to go down there, because they had a lot of, at times they had immigrants that came, German immigrants and otherwise, that were living back there with black people and other people. And they had to fight, and activists had literally had to fight for resources for that area city. So a lot of the city's activists originally came from that area because they were conditioned to fight for everything. It's quite ironic every time floods would happen that area would then suffer, would be inundated by waters that was supposed to go elsewhere, and all of a sudden flimsy walls would collapse in and all kinds of stuff would end up happening. It happened 3 times in the history of the city. That's how we know what's going on. But outside of that, the culture in the city is very rich with whatever you want to know, whether it was anything. They always think about the food, but it's so much other things that's involved in the area. So yes, it has a lot to offer. But if you're talking like people that's impoverished, that ain't just something indicative of New Orleans. There's impoverished people all across the country right now. That's a lot of stuff going on in the environment right now, especially with the economy as bad as what it is. That should be the main focus, is the economy. It's like all the stuff that's happening. And usually a lot of these people, they don't see that, man, because their wealth has built them to an area where they done walled themselves off, because they're not operating in the same environment they originally were in. When you get into these environments, man, you start mixing with these different people. A lot of times they form a barrier away from them, and that's not a dumb thing to do, because a lot of times people will come from them. There'll be some people, family members, that want to probably get money from him, whatever, that he has to turn down or he has to be away from, or there might be some other dudes on the underside trying to get money from you. So at some point you might have to move around a little bit, but I get it to a degree. So I understand, man. I get it in part. Yeah, but that kind of, yeah. Rich and I don't know what he's talking about. Ain't nothing down here, man. How you say that and you from here? Are you sure you from here is talking like that? You're gonna piss a lot of people off telling them that, man. All right, anyway, man, let me get ready to get out of here, man. I appreciate sitting and talking with you guys about this whole situation, man. But listen, in the end, man, we're gonna continue to do what we're supposed to do, man. And tomorrow, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. We pop up on Patreon. We'll look over the tape, the film of the Carolina game. We'll do that, cover the latest news. It's gonna be a very interesting week as the Saints move to the second level here, or see if they can try to save the season. That's pretty much what the Saints are going to try to do. We do have the trade deadline tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting. Do the Saints make trades? Do they make a trade to try to get a person here from I think wide receiver wise wouldn't be a bad idea, to try to see if they could find somebody. I don't know how they're going to do it, because see, they penciled in. Now they waited so long with Dennis Allen, burned so much time down. Now they got it's a feeling of urgency and desperation now with a 7-game slide. So this guy has to do something. You got to find some help at the wide receiver position. They got to find help at the wide receiver position. They need it as fast as possible to get these guys in here, because they need help. But they banged up there. They need playmakers that can stretch the field to do some stuff, and they need it has to happen, because the running game was actually doing some stuff. It just didn't work in confab with the passing game. We didn't have anybody to push the field after Chris Olave got knocked out of there. So the Saints are going to have to figure something out, man, moving forward, and it's their own fault. So will they gain success moving forward? Hopefully they will. We'll be here to witness the whole thing and see how it all falls. But at least they did one thing right. Thanks to I'm giving all the credit in the world to the Who Dat Nation. The Who Dat Nation was responsible for keeping that heat on these people to get rid of Dennis Allen, because they really didn't want to get rid of him. Mickey Loomis really didn't want to fire him. That's how closed mind this dude is. He's sitting up here talking about he's an excellent coach, and the man has a losing record as a head coach, and he's on an 0-7 losing streak currently, and he's still yelling he's a great head coach. He's an excellent head coach. This idiot is out of his damn mind. That's why he needs to be pulled down there. This the decision maker that be responsible for getting you out of the salary cap, which he doesn't know how to do it. He sold the farm for this year. That's why it's so bad. He sold out for this time frame because he believed the Saints had a Super Bowl team that was going to compete. And now that they are dealing with this mess they have to follow the game. They're stuck here to a great degree. The Saints are stuck with what they have right now until the clock runs out. This is what Mickey Loomis did. He put us on a path right now that we can't turn around. We got to go through it, so that's where we are. All right. So anyway, shout out to Crusher. He says might not have a winning team or winning head coach, but we got each other. And man, at least we got each other. Thank you, Crusher. Shout out to you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. That's great, man. Give Crusher a round of applause for that, man. That's true. I thank the Most High for y'all, man, talking to y'all, man, about this, because it's been some difficult time. We do realize that we're under a purge process. We got Dennis Allen out of the way. There will be changes to the top of the organization. People were saying, nah, they ain't going to change. They're not going to get rid of Dennis Allen. Well, they got rid of Dennis Allen. They're not going to change with Mickey Loomis. Watch what happened. Watch what happened. You got to change, man. It ain't saying you got to fire him. Just he's still going to be the VP, but you need a new general manager. You need new, higher IQ football people at the top of the organization to march into the future. So we on that, man. Listen, we winning this thing, bro. Regardless of what they say, we winning this thing. All right. Shout out to T Mama, man. I see you. What's up, Desi? Student, big ups to you. Arvin, I see you, man. Pammy. All right, big ups to you. I see you, Balika. Marcus, shout out to you, brother. Brother Derek got it. I see you, Trey. Shout out to you. Thank you, Crusher. True Louise Animal. I see you, fam. Yeah, he was Derek got Derek's Derek got mad right quick. I see you, Derek. I see you, brother. Derek got mad. What the hell he talking about? I see you, brother. Derek got pissed off right quick. He was like, hold on, what that Derek said, hold on, what that boy, Derek about to go at him, boy. I was about to say, boy, he a gone pecan if Derek put his hands on him. All right, brother John, thank you. What's up, brother Byron? I know Byron about to go off on him. L-Dub says, did you see where Duncan said Tiege should be considered for the Saints Hall of Fame? Oh, he did not say that. I've been letting Dunkin' Donuts make it for a while, man, but he did not say that. He was, it had to be like satire. That's what it was. It was satire. What is it? Well, he might be considering saying him as in terms of a defensive coach, like a defensive coordinator. If he mentions defensive coordinator, then you can't take that away from Dennis Allen. Like in terms of defensive coordinator, you might want to put him on there as a defensive coordinator, but don't you supposed to consider his entire body of work? How do you then ignore his unsuccessful head coaching tenure? But then again, there are a lot of Saints players who are in the Saints Hall of Fame that didn't have a lot of success, right? We know Archie Manning didn't have a lot of wins here in New Orleans, but he's still in the Hall of Fame. Isn't Archie Manning in there? But Dennis Allen as a coordinator, should he be in the Hall of Fame? In the Saints Hall of Fame? I really don't want to think about that right now because I don't want to bring him back. I'm just glad he gone. We need to move about the business of turning the team around. So I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Tom Landry, 34, 75, 75. Bill Belichick, 77, 70, 79. Dennis Allen, 77. See, I heard all that stuff before. I heard all other noise. We just have to look at it through an independent lens. I know we have to. We got to look beyond the results. I guess you couldn't look behind the results, huh, Loomis? I guess you couldn't see past the results. Who was standing in your way of looking beyond the results? Gail Benson. Gail Benson said, "Hold on, you're not gonna f up my money playing around with this dude. You got all these people mad at me. Hold on now, Gail. That's Miss Benson to you. Oh, I am. My bad, Miss Benson. And listen, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you, Dennis Allen, 75, 76, 70. Bill Belichick, 75, 77. All that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's done. Over with. Kaputski. All right. So anyway, listen, man, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all holler at me on Patreon Tuesday, man. Much love to the fan from our people. Shout out to this platform sponsors, Mint Mobile, for good cell phone service at inexpensive rates. Check out Mint Mobile, link in the description section, as well as Tiege Hanley skincare products for the fam, for the men, heavily endorsed by Reverend Saint. And Bet Online. If you can't make money with the Saints, make money on the Saints, because they're making it on you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So with that being said, fam, listen, I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit the like button for your boy. I'm going to be back on Wednesday for my Patreon and YouTube membership family. I'll be on the stream tomorrow breaking down the film. If I can stand it or you can stand it, the Carolina matchup, talk about more stuff that's going on with the current administration. The latest news and notes, what happens at the trade deadline is supposed to happen tomorrow. And it's also election or selection, depending on what your vantage point is, day. But we're going to win this thing. Much love to the family. I'll holler at you later. Peace and who that.
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Where we do that, huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment and political props. Head to Bet Online today and get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right. right, the Pro Shop is the platform's store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that